I'm now the production coordinator and I want to push things over to Editorial. The first thing I'll do is make sure that the notes were addressed and close off any comments. The first note is regarding the additional boards off the top, and I can see that the artist made the change in Storyboard Pro and they are reflected inside of Flix. I'll go ahead and check off this comment. The next note involved zooming in, adding an over the shoulder to see the mail, and then seeing Vic's worried face. I see that all here, so that's great. Let's mark this one off. The next revision is to have her back facing her mom. I can see that this happened, and I can always refer to version 1 of the board to show the difference. Okay, great. Another one to mark off. Next one is an extra shot needed of the teacher inviting Vic in. I can see that here, and it looks great. Last one is to have the camera pull out. So since we chose to hold the first frame on any camera moves, I'll confirm this one by looking at version 1. I can clearly see a difference in the framing, so the camera move is in, and we are good to check this comment off. Alright, so we're ready to begin publishing. I'm going to note that everything looks good and is ready for Editorial. Let's hit save. Now, once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and press the Publish button. So we're going to get our Publish options. Now, from here, we want to generate a contact sheet, and I'll add a comment that this is the first pass to Editorial. And let's go ahead and press Publish. Flix will go ahead and generate a contact sheet and get all the assets needed for Publish. Flix can even send an email alerting the necessary people that something has been published to Editorial. Now, once it's finished, the Publish folder will open up and we can see what was done. We have our contact sheet, which was generated, so let's open that up. The boards that are being delivered to Editorial for the first time are highlighted as new, so in this case, everything is new as it's our first publish. We have the shot number listed at the top of the panels and the dialogue is included. So this is really a great way for Editorial to get context for what they're going to be receiving. We have 2 XML files, and we'll touch on this a bit later. But most importantly, let's have a look at the paths and naming conventions. Through the management console, we set up our editorial paths for a publish directory. The first part will depend on where we want the publishes to go. We then have a slash, which represents a folder. Flix creates these folders as they don't exist. The folder will be named by the show tracking code, which is, in our case, TD, and the sequence tracking code, which in this case is 0010_PTI. Next, we have another slash, so a subfolder will be created, and this time it'll be named by the date and sequence revision. Now let's have a look at the editorial sequence name. We first have the show tracking code, episode tracking code, sequence tracking code, and then the sequence revision number. And finally, editorial clips will be found in the assets folder, and we have it set up as the show tracking code, sequence tracking code, panel ID, and panel revision. If we have multiple publishes, Flix will make new folders adhering to the rules that we set up in the management console.